Hey everybody, it's Mike with Seeds and Arrows Frontier, and today we got an interesting project that we got going on. So we're going to be moving out, and in doing that, we're going to be moving all of our property and putting some in storage. So our thought, since we're going to be out on the property and starting a homestead, we'll need a trailer. So we went ahead and got us a trailer here, so that way we don't have to keep renting U-Haul trailers to move our stuff. Now, we got a couple of issues with it though. One being that we got a problem here. These got like rim clamps, and when we bought the trailer, this wheel back here was missing all of them. So what we ended up doing was taking one off from each one of the other wheels on the other side and then this side, so that we could actually clamp it into place. Now we went ahead and ordered new clamps, so we got some new clamps. We're going to put those on. The other thing is the tail lights on the back are not working, so these things we're gonna have to, we bought a new wiring kit with lights, and we're gonna get those hooked up. So but here's the trailer. The kids were actually playing on it earlier. So 16 feet by 7.5. It's got a little bit of rust on there, but what we're gonna do is go ahead and get that Rust-Oleum stuff and like try to scrub some of the rust off there, and then spray some of that on there to give it a protecting cover. The other thing that we're going to be having to do is make a frame, so that way when we set our boxes inside here, they're not all going to fall off. So I got some lumber. We're going to be making a frame going around here, trying to make it structurally sound, so that way when we set all the boxes in there, then it won't be falling off. What we end up doing is, you can see right here, we're going to be putting the 2x4s on the corners, and then bolting them in the corners right here, and then we're going to bolt it in down there, and then along the sides of the trailer, and then that way we can stack boxes up in here, and then we're going to have running boards along the 2x4s to hold all the cargo in as we're transporting it. Good enough?
I guess.
Okay. Alright, so we finished our project. We got the planks up, so now we got this. We were thinking about maybe adding one to the middle, but get the general idea. I mean, right now what we're going to be using it for is to load up boxes and everything to move to our storage shed. So move out the house. We're already at that point. So, but this is everything that we need to do to save us on money on our U-Haul, and we'll be able to further use it out there at the property. So the next process that we're going to be doing here is taking off the old lights and putting new lights on, so that way we're legal on the road. So on the trailer we got a little junction box right here. It's got all the wires coming in from right here, and it comes out of the 7-prong plug, which is kind of dirty right now, but that will plug in down here to right there. So this over here we've already tested with the trailer lights that we got. This works good. So what we're wanting to do is get this working good, but when we plug this in down here, the wires right here have been mismatched to where the wrong lights are coming on back there at the trailer. So that's what we're trying to do, is figure out what wiring is connected to what. So, alright, so for the back of the trailer lights, everybody shows for the 7-prong connection that how the wires connect from the truck insert, but they don't necessarily show how the connections from the insert actually connect to the wires on the trailer. So if you actually look at your tail lights to your trailer, your left tail light has a brown and a yellow wire to it. Your right tail light has a green and a brown wire to it. So one of the things that I was having the issue with when I was going and hooking up the wiring to the junction box for the 7-prong, I was having the issue that I was not having a connection because I had the yellow wires connected. The yellow wire on here was not the same yellow wire for the prong. So the yellow wires was actually connected to the red wire for the prong, and then the green wire was connected to the brown wire. The brown wire from the trailer lights was actually the green for the 7-prong. So once I processed of elimination, figured that out, and then blew a couple of fuses doing it, I actually realized that that's the way that the trailer lights actually go to the 7-prong. Now your blue is still your brake line, and then your black is hot all the time. So if you had like running lights or something like that you wanted to hook up to your trailer that would stay on, then you would use that. Otherwise, this is the way that would go. And so just keep that in mind when you're actually going through. Even though these right here, this, when it hooks into your truck, you got to make sure that your green is basically your main connection. And I got a little bit of the silicone on my hands here, but you got your yellow and your red that's going to go together, because that's going to create the connection for your left turn signal and your left brake light. And then on the right side you got the brown that's going to go in, and the brown's going to go in and connect to your green on the right side. Now for the hard wiring connection, so your brown wire coming through the trailer lights, because remember you got so back here you got the yellow and brown, and then over here you got the green and brown. So you got the brown as constant, comes through this plug-in right here. So you got both of the browns coming through. If I can get that focused. Both of the browns are coming through to both lights, and they come over here and it turns into one brown. And then of course you got your ground, and then your yellow and your green. But basically your brown, the 7 wire plug right here, is going to connect to the green. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does make sense. This was a trial and error, and I was trying to look for something on YouTube and I couldn't find anything, so that's why I'm making this video. Now I had my mechanic Jeff, and he basically soldered and shrink wrapped these wires so that would hold a little bit better than the prongs that go on the wire tips. So we got all that soldered down. So today we got the trailer over at the Master's Hand, and this is Jeff Harper. He's over here working on the trailer. We're gonna watch and see what he's doing. Actually, since I got the connections to the trailer up, he was able to help me out with the trailer hitch, and he was nice enough to say that I could come by and he would solder the wires together. So that's what we're gonna do today. But I also wanted to promote his business. He's here if you're in the northern Kentucky area, in Florence, Union, and you know, the Hebron area. He does auto mechanic work, and really great mechanic, very personable, and you'll never meet a more honest guy when you're talking about working on your vehicle. So I've brought my cars, vehicles to him for years now, and he's helped out tremendously. And so I figured the least I could do was to promote his business on our channel. So I'm going to introduce you here. Here's the trailer. We got it up and running. And Jeff's over here applying his handiwork here. So
don't ask me to talk, because I don't talk in these things.
Oh, you just did.
No more.
So now what exactly are we doing then?
I'm fixing the wiring. I'm soldering.
You're soldering? Okay.
Make better connections.
So what's that stuff? The
paste?
Paste stuff that you got there?
It's flux.
Okay.
Cleans up the connection and allows the solder to kind of suck into the wires, in between the wires.
So now, for somebody wanting to do this versus, because the guy that I guess I bought the trailer from had these other clamps on here, and just a safety shout out here, I'll say we did disconnect the power before we started this. So, but these clamps versus soldering, what's the difference between those?
The crimp-on clamps can corrode over time. And if they corrode, you can build up resistance. It can actually break the circuit, worst case. And then, I mean, you would run out of your lights in the worst case. So soldering, and if you put the heat shrink over it, that's not keep water out and keep your circuits fully functional. So that's the best route to go. It's more labor intensive, but it's the best way to do it.
Well, I appreciate you working on it today here.
Kind of the same function as sweating a plumbing pipe.
Okay.
If you zoom in close to it, you can see the solder just kind of sucked into the wires.
Oh yeah. If I can get it to focus here. You see that? All right. Yep, all lights are on. Left turn signal's on. Right turn signal's on. They're all off. Yeah, they're all off. Now the brakes are on. There we go. Great. All right, so we finished up the trailer. Jeff really helped me out, hooked me up again. Come out and check him out, say hi, tell him Seats and Arrows sent you over. But the Master's Hand, and right now we're in Union, Kentucky. So I'll post his phone number up, and if you need any work done on your vehicles or trucks, look him up. So help out a fellow Christian.
All right, thank you.
There you go.